saw January 6 protesters there revisiting their steps. Turn the audio up here for just a moment and we'll listen in.
Snowflakes cry about it more. I could send you medication. The great RFK could send you DDS medication. Paid by us, the taxpayers. We could fund it, no problem. Jeffrey Hakeem, dollars to Obama. Keep crying, bitch.
So you see there, January 6 protesters retracing their steps. Of course, 5 years following that riot on the Capitol, they've been kind of saying some of the people that passed away. Of course, Ashley Babbitt, one of those people who died in that attack, was killed, I should say. There, as they, again, you take a look there as they retrace their steps. I want to take you to something that occurred. It was about 4 hours long. It concluded last hour, but there was a hearing held by Democrats, House Democrats specifically, on this. We are going to listen in for just a moment. Again, we only have an hour with you, and we still have a lot of news to get to. So we're going to listen in here for just a moment to the opening remarks.
Comments in this opening statement. We'll now hear from Leader Jeffries to open this hearing.
Thank the distinguished chairman for his leadership and for convening us this morning on this very solemn, important occasion. Before we begin, in light of the passing of Congressman Doug LaMalfa, great member of Congress from the great state of California, we'd just like to ask for a moment of silence. Thank you. And thank you all for your presence here today on this solemn anniversary. 5 years ago today, a violent mob incited by Donald Trump attacked the Capitol as part of a concerted effort to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election and halt the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in American history. This bloodthirsty, treacherous mob brutally assaulted police officers and seriously injured more than 140 brave men and women of law enforcement. Many have suffered lasting physical and psychological damage. Several tragically lost their lives. Because of the extraordinary bravery of the U.S. Capitol Police, other law enforcement officials, and the resolve of the Congress to return that night, this unprecedented attack on our country and on our democracy failed. Over the last 5 years, instead of holding those responsible for the attack accountable, Donald Trump and far-right extremists in Congress have repeatedly attempted to rewrite history and whitewash the horrific events of January 6th. We will not let that happen. On the first day in office of his second term, instead of fulfilling his promise to lower the high cost of living on day one, Donald Trump pardoned hundreds of violent felons who brutally beat police officers while storming the United States Capitol. The criminals and thugs that Donald Trump pardoned have flooded communities across the country, unleashing violence and mayhem. The crimes committed by those rioters before and after the violent insurrection include child sexual assault, production of child pornography, possession of child pornography, rape, conspiracy to murder FBI agents, kidnapping, sexual assault, aggravated robbery, reckless homicide, driving under the influence causing death, illegal possession of firearms, domestic violence by strangulation, burglary, vandalism, grand theft, stalking, violation of protection orders, threatening public officials, and drug trafficking. It's been a Trump-inspired crime spree. Why won't Republicans in Congress condemn this dangerous behavior, an ongoing threat to public safety? They refuse to serve as a check and balance on an increasingly out-of-control executive branch, preferring to be nothing more than a reckless rubber stamp for Donald Trump's extreme agenda. The January 6th violent attack on the Capitol that took place 5 years ago today was shameful then, it is shameful now, and it will be shameful always and forever. We must continue to learn from what happened on January 6th in order to make sure that it never happens again. We must protect our free and fair elections. We must protect the peaceful transfer of power. We must protect the preeminence of the rule of law. And we must protect the eternal commitment to a democratic America, which remains the last best hope on earth. It is now my honor to yield to the distinguished gentleman from the great state of Mississippi, the once and future chair of the Homeland Security Committee and the chairman emeritus of the January 6th Select Committee, Congressman Benny Thompson.
Thank you so much, Leader Jeffries.
Alrighty, you were just listening in there for a moment to House Democrats holding that hearing today. That's last hour again over on Capitol Hill. Benny Thompson now speaking. He was the once chair of the January 6th committee, if you remember those investigations. Want to take you back live to this camera that we have been continuing to monitor in Washington, D.C. Protesters there marking 5 years since the attack as well. We will continue to monitor the developments there.